Coming up on UMTV News, diplomatic talks continue overseas with the goal of ending the war between Russia and Ukraine.
Plus, an attack in Washington, D.C., where 2 National Guard members were shot last week. Now one of them is dead. We'll tell you what happened and how it might affect immigration.
And later on, meet one Florida high schooler who is shattering stereotypes.
All this and more coming up on UMTV News.
It starts right now. Hello and welcome back to UMTV News. I'm Emmeline Smith.
And I'm Chris Perez. Thank you for joining us. A massive diplomatic push is underway in hopes to end the war in Ukraine. After high-stakes talks right here in Florida, the action has moved to Moscow, where a U.S. team is face-to-face with Vladimir Putin. The groundwork came together Sunday in Hollandale Beach. Secretary of State Marco Rubio sat down with top Ukrainian officials, including their national security secretary, for an intense session to improve a proposed 20-point peace plan. Rubio says the goal isn't just a temporary ceasefire, it's building a defense that keeps Ukraine safe for the long run.
We had another very productive session building off Geneva, building off the events of this week. As I told you earlier this morning, our goal here is to end the war, but it's more than just to end the war. We don't just want to end the war, we also want to help Ukraine be safe forever, so never again will they face another invasion, and equally importantly, we want them to enter an age of true prosperity.
Now that vision is being tested at the Kremlin. U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are in Moscow pitching the terms directly to Putin.
The White House is doubling down on its immigration policies and launching an interagency federal investigation into the shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. last week. The shooting suspect, who is an Afghan national, was the U.S. alumni status. 20-year-old Sarah Beckstorm had been in the National Guard for just over 2 years when she was shot in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. She died from her injuries a day later.
I remember her mom posting pictures of her in her uniform and just thinking like how wonderful it was that she was out there serving our country.
A second National Guard member, Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, was critically wounded in what authorities call an ambush. The alleged shooter is 29-year-old Ramanakala Lakhanwal, who came to the U.S. in 2021 in the wake of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan under a Biden-era program to resettle Afghans who had helped U.S. forces. His asylum application was approved under the Trump administration.
Those people let off, they were rigorously vetted. Some people went to a second country, and they weren't allowed into this country until they were fully vetted like we would do any other refugees.
Following the shooting, President Donald Trump has ordered a review of green card holders from 19 so-called countries of concern. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that the department is also moving to block undocumented immigrants from receiving federal tax-based benefits. Immigrant communities and their advocates say that the administration's anti-immigrant rhetoric is putting more people at risk.
This is again like 9/11, happened, an entire Muslim community got impacted. Now Afghans are going to pay the price.
Today, during a remote court appearance, Lakhanwal was formally charged with murder and pleaded not guilty.
Following the National Guard shooting, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is calling for a full travel ban on certain countries. Noem posted her comments on social media after meeting with President Donald Trump on Monday. Currently, travelers from 19 countries face full or partial restrictions into the U.S. According to a source, Noem is reportedly recommending at least 30 countries on that list. It's unclear which countries could be added.
Luigi Mangione was back in court Tuesday for a pretrial hearing. He's accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Manhattan a year ago. His attorneys are trying to get some key evidence thrown out, arguing that it was obtained illegally. The multi-day hearing is revealing new details. Played in court Monday, a 911 call from a manager at McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, that directly led to Mangione's arrest. In the call, the manager said some customers were concerned the alleged killer was in the restaurant. The first officer on the scene testified Tuesday, recalling the first time he saw the suspect. 5 witnesses testified Monday, and prosecutors indicated they could call of more than 24 witnesses. The pretrial hearing is expected to last several days.
Miami Art Week is underway and events are already drawing in large crowds. Hannah Mackey went downtown to check it out and joins us now live to tell us more about the event. Hannah?
That's right, Chris. Miami Art Week kicks off with international events such as Art Basel Miami Beach, as well as street fair pop-ups across Miami's many neighborhoods. The event brings in tens of thousands of visitors, and one artist last night really wowed the crowd at the opening of Ora Copeland's gallery downtown. Miami Art Week is once again transforming the city, bringing together artists, collectors, and thousands of visitors who come for one of the biggest cultural weeks of the year. With tents, galleries, and pop-up installations spread across the city, Art Week packs a massive visual and economic punch. Miami Art Week continues to grow with more than 80 art fairs and over 1,000 galleries contributing to an economic impact of about $500 million. And for many local artists, this week means more than just exposure. It's a celebration of community.
Well, I feel like the city comes alive at this time of year. I think there's so much energy. I see that in the world, but all the artists of Miami come together. People come to Miami for this driven, and so I feel like it's our opportunity to say welcome to absolutely everyone in the world in the best way possible.
Last night in downtown Miami, a live painting performance drew a packed crowd, all watching as the artist built the piece in real time.
I just love that I get to meet amazing people. I also feel like it's very in the moment, and it forces you to not overthink certain things. I can find this kind of really unique balance along the way.
Organizers say events like these capture what makes Miami Art Week unique, a place where spontaneity, culture, and creativity collide, and where artists can connect directly with the people who show up to experience their work. And with hundreds of events still ahead, Art Week promises even more moments that showcase the city's artistic heart. Miami Art Week runs through Sunday and features events in Miami Beach, Wynwood, the Design District, and more. Organizers say the event will generate millions and give artists a chance to make their name known. From Coral Gables, live, Hannah Mackey, UMTV.
Thanks, Hannah. It's time for a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, a local high school celebrates its 75th birthday. We'll take you to the festivities. Plus, we'll take a look at Miami's ranked win over Pittsburgh to end their regular season.
Coral Gables Senior High School is celebrating its 75th anniversary this year, and festivities kicked off right here in Coral Gables. Alumni from across decades came together for a night of celebration on the high school's campus, with attractions like tours of the school, a dunk tank featuring a graduate from rival school Miami Senior High, food trucks with pizza, ice cream, and churros, and music from the school's band. Coral Gables Senior High is one of the oldest high schools in South Florida. It opened in 1950 to help accommodate Miami's population explosion after World War II. Many alumni came from around the world to revisit the place they grew up in, but others didn't have to go far to enjoy the evening.
I went to Canterbury Preschool on campus. I went to West Lab Elementary on campus. I went to Carver, Coral Gables, Ponce Middle School, and Gables Senior High, for undergrad and for grad school. So I never left Coral Gables. My whole life was here.
Inside the auditorium, school legends took the stage. 2007 Major League Baseball World Series MVP Mike Lowell was among hundreds of alumni and sports figures who graduated from the school and made names for themselves. Performances from the Gablettes and the band rounded off the evening, with Coral Gables Mayor Vince Lago giving remarks on his pride for the city and 3/4 of a century of education.
And speaking of high schools, one Fort Lauderdale high school senior is lacing up her cleats and breaking down barriers. Taryn Jacobs had a chance to meet with her and joins us now live to tell us more about her story. Taryn?
Emmeline, most of the year you can find Soraya Lewis on the track throwing the discus and the javelin, but since her freshman year, she decided to spend the fall season playing a sport that most girls don't typically play. I got the chance to talk to her and her teammates. At first glance, this may look like your typical defensive line. Big guys, shoulder to shoulder. But one of them isn't like the others.
Well, you hurt? You hurt a little bit?
That's Soraya Lewis, a 5'6", 160-pound girl who plays defensive end at Fort Lauderdale High School. Most girls who break into the sport end up on special teams, but Soraya chose to line up with the boys up front.
I like to hit. I like to tackle. I like to be on the line, in the trenches.
And so, it's no surprise she got a few strange looks the first time she laced up her cleats and hit the field.
I'm not gonna lie, I was scared at first. She came out both of our freshman years, and I saw her. I was like, is that a girl?
Some of them took to me pretty easily, and others took to me as like a joke, thinking I would be gone within the first week.
But she let her game do the talking.
And I saw her like overpowering the other dudes on the team. I was like, damn, that's a strong girl.
She's one of our best players, you know, and she shows it every single day.
And it's not just her skill on the field, it's the passion behind every snap.
She's tougher than a lot of these guys out here, and it's just the fact that she comes willing to work every single day. If she has a broken nail, she's gonna continue playing. If she falls on her butt, she's gonna get back up and play.
Despite earning respect of the team, her competition still underestimates her. So much so, she receives threats from the other team she plays, which sometimes forces her to be sidelined.
They think she's a joke. Like, they take her for a joke because she's a girl, obviously. But once they line up against her and they see, like, she don't play around, like, the tone definitely changes.
You'll hit with me, right? Sexy Dexy?
Above all, this team has given Soraya her second home.
They're like my brothers now. I've grown to love most of them like family.
What Soraya has done in her 4 years proves that nothing is impossible.
Everybody has a trailblazer. Everybody, it needs to start with somebody. So she's that perfect person for it to start.
I love to show people that I'm not just here for no reason. I love to see the look on their face when they realize I'm not just a pretty princess.
Soraya finished up her last football season at the end of October, and now she'll compete in track and field to finish up her senior year. Upon graduation, she hopes to attend college and then law school to become a sports attorney. Live from Coral Gables, Taryn Jacobs, UMTV.
Thanks, Taryn. And on the topic of sports, over the weekend, the number 12 ranked Hurricanes took on the number 22 Pitt Panthers. So let's go to Pennsylvania for the highlights. Not much action in the first, but early in the second quarter, the Panthers are in the red zone and QB Mason Heinschel finds Justin Holmes near the goal line and he moonwalks into the end zone. But the Canes don't take lightly to being down and Carson Beck sends an absolute dot over to Golden Boy Malachi Toney near the sideline for a one-handed catch of the day. And Toney's just getting started. He doesn't just run, he doesn't just catch, but he also rolls out of the pocket to lob a quick pass to Elijah Lofton, who's all alone in the end zone for another Miami touchdown, but Toney isn't done for the quarter. And Beck again pins the tail on the donkey with Toney right in the end zone for an easy catch. If I have two sons, I'm naming them Malachi and Toney. Carson Beck hands it off to true freshman Gerard Pringle on the next Miami possession for the 35-yard rush, which puts the Canes near the red zone. The Hurricanes go on to win 38-7, with Malachi Toney taking Miami's school record for receiving yards by a freshman in a single season.
And finally, with Christmas right around the corner, Florida residents are bringing the holiday spirit to the Sunshine State. And all the way up in Jacksonville, they're bringing the Seat Sun's greeting with the annual Deck the Chairs event. Floridians are teaming up to decorate nearly 70 lifeguard chairs that will be on display on the beach for 6 weeks. At the end of that, the community will vote on their favorite one. But the Christmas chairs are part of a larger event which features a performance of the Nutcracker and also more than 1,000 young performers. The nonprofit called Deck the Chairs runs the event, and all the profits will go towards them to support the children's arts.
Well, I'm excited for the holiday season, but I'm so sad to be leaving this studio.
I know, it feels like home here.
It definitely does.
But that's all the time we have for UMTV News. Thank you for joining us for our last show of the semester.
We'll see you back here next year. Have a great day.